Next up, let's go and set up a brand new blank document. So what you can do if you want is, if you still have the welcome screen in front of you there, you can go ahead and click on Document underneath the Create New heading. Or if you want, you can head up to the File menu and then down to New and then over to Document. Or of course, you can just whack Command-N on your keyboard there on the Mac side, or Control-N on the PC side. Either way you go about it, you're going to wind up inside the New Document dialog box. Okay, now as you can see, there are a ton of options in here, lots of stuff in here to show you. First of all, we have document presets. So what we can actually do is we can create and save our own document presets. Say, for example, a large part of our design work is going to be business cards, right? Well, we could save almost like a template, right? We could save our document presets so that every time we come into this dialog box, we can just pop open the document presets menu, grab the preset, all of the fields inside the dialog box fill in with all the settings, we click OK, and we're off to the races, right? It's a pretty cool way to work. Anyway, so there we go. We have the document presets. We have intent. Sounds dramatic. Print or web, right? So a lot of people, believe it or not, are actually using InDesign for web design, which is kind of bizarre because InDesign obviously is more of a traditional desktop publishing tool, right? So I'm going to stick with print here. Call me kooky, but that's what I'm going to do here. Number of pages, I'm going to stick with 1 for now. The starting page count is going to be 1. Facing pages. Do you know what facing pages is? All right, here's the deal. You know, like a traditional word processing application, say Microsoft Word or maybe OpenOffice Writer, something like this, right? When we're typing out our text inside a word processor and we start scrolling down in our document, we have page 1 at the top and then page 2, we scroll down to page 3, that kind of thing, right? So one page after another, right? Well, facing pages is sort of the same idea, except imagine our document is actually printed out and laid flat on our desk. Imagine a book, right? So on the left side, we'd have page 2, and on the right side, we'd have page 3, and then scroll down, and then back onto the left side, we'd have page 4, and then back onto the right side, we'd have page 5, and so on. That's what facing pages is. So if you're coming at this wanting to be able to lay out things like newsletters or books and things like this, and you want to get a sense of how your layout is going to look when it's finally printed out, you might want to go with facing pages. Imagine it's going to give you sort of this spread view, if you will. So anyway, that's what facing pages is. Master text frame, maybe we'll get into this in just a little while. I'm going to leave this turned off. We're going to talk about something called master pages in just a little while. So we'll leave that guy turned off. Our paper size, check this out. I'm going to drop down this menu. We have tons of options here. Letter, legal, tabloid, A5, A4, and so on and so on. There's our business cards, compact discs, a bunch of oddball resolutions, 600 by 300, 800 by 600. What the heck's up with that? Well, that's all of our monitor resolutions if you want to use InDesign for web design. And even though I do a lot of web development, it's never even crossed my mind to use InDesign for web design. But anyway, it's possible. Okay, so I'm going to stick with letter. I'm just keeping this simple here. Orientation, portrait or landscape. No worries there. That's pretty straightforward stuff. Check this out, though. We have some weird, wacky stuff going on inside the width and height fields there. That's because the default unit of measurement inside InDesign is picas. Have you heard of picas before? It's kind of a, I don't want to say like an old world. I don't want to insult anyone, but picas, I think is traditionally used in newspaper layout and magazine layout and this kind of thing. I think most people these days are using inches or maybe centimeters, so either, imperial or metric. So we'll go and change our unit of measurement in just a little while. So don't freak out too much about this weird stuff here. But I do want you to know that maybe it's a situation where, I don't know, maybe you want to create a DVD cover or a CD cover for your band or something like this, right? Well, what you could do is, obviously we don't have those options inside this page size drop-down menu, so you can just go and type in your dimensions. So once we switch our unit of measurement to inches, for example, you could type in, say, 5 inches by 6 inches or 5 1/4 by 6 3/4 or something like that, right? Okay, so hopefully all good. Number of columns, if we want to set up a multi-column document, the number of columns there, and then the gutter being the space between the columns, And then, of course, we can also set our outside margins. So top, bottom, inside, and outside. Now, we have inside and outside because we have facing pages turned on. Shut off facing pages, and that changes to left and right. So again, hopefully that makes sense. So the inside, imagine that's where the spine of the book is. And the outside, that would be the opposite side of where the spine is, right? The outside edge of your document. You can unlink these guys if you want to set individual values for each field there. So hopefully all good. Let's go and click OK and see what we get. Go ahead and click on OK. And we should get, once my Mac decides to catch up with me, there we go. What we get, amazingly, is an 8.5 by 11 blank document. Notice we have some rulers there. We have some purple margins there as well. We'll take a tour of the entire InDesign interface, but before we do that, I think we better switch our unit of measurement from picas to inches. Let's go and do that.